I'm back with another one, you know what I'm saying? So today what I want to do was want to talk to my chosen ones about making yourself vulnerable and using it as a strength. You know what I'm saying? So I know for a lot of us growing up, we grew up in occultic households where fear was pushed and promoted, and you wasn't really in a position to kind of be vulnerable, or somebody would take extreme measures of taking advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? So I know for a lot of us chosen ones, when we were younger, being vulnerable was not something that we was willing to really compromise doing. But as we grew and we got older and we started understanding that we can actually utilize that as a strength, to where I like to give this example of 8 Mile with Eminem, and he had his last rap battle, and what he did was he put all the information about him out there that people would laugh, joke, or tease him about, or seem like it would be embarrassing information. He put all that information about him out there, and he did it in a way where it magnified his strength. So when it was time for the other guy to rap about whatever he was going to rap about, he didn't really have nothing to say, because everything that he wanted to use that would have made Eminem feel vulnerable or embarrassed or anything of those emotions, you know what I'm saying, he had already put it on the table. So that's what I started understanding as I got older, was sometimes being vulnerable, you have to put things on the table, up front and forwarding, you know what I'm saying? And the more you tend to do these things and put it up front and forwarding, the more strength and courage you give yourself. Being vulnerable is kind of like a secret place you can extract or pull energy from, strength from. You know what I'm saying? You may not always feel the same when going through that process with a certain being, but as you continue to ascend, those same tactics and those same experience that you had with the other beings that you practiced that with, you're going to be 50 times more brilliant with using it, because it's going to make a lot more sense to you by then. It took me a while to understand, like, why do I keep giving these people all these chances, or why do I keep putting myself in positions to seem like people can hurt me, or these certain places and locations and energy can affect me in a negative way. And I realized, like, for us chosen ones, we have to experience things. We have to experience things, but we like to experience things in the most honest, genuine, sincere way we possibly can. So when you have yourself dealing with certain family members and friends and shit, making yourself vulnerable, and they just laughing and joking or hee-hee-ha-haing, or they kind of just, a lot of beings don't always laugh and joke. A lot of them just like to skate past what the fuck is being said or what is actually happening. And that silent shit is just as deadly as using the wrong verbal language. I realized that I walk into a lot of positions, and I know a lot of other chosen ones walk into a lot of positions. Honest, genuine, is upfront as possible as they can be about anything. You know what I'm saying? So when you do these things and you're putting that all on the table, we even if we didn't know back then, we understand now that we're always protected. And because of the way we do things, it's like even more strength and power behind it. It's been numerous of times where I done put myself in vulnerable positions, and I'll be sitting back looking like, damn, why the hell did I just do that? Like, clearly I'm smart enough, but it's not like I don't know better. But it's like, for me, I have to make myself vulnerable to test the beings and the frequencies that I'm around. I have to make myself vulnerable to test them. When I make myself vulnerable, I'm testing them at the highest, most sincere, organic frequency you can possibly go to. That's kind of like dropping $500 out your pocket and hoping that your homeboy pick it up, or your girl that you would pick it up and give it to you, or remind you that you got it. You know what I'm saying? It's something we still are testing beings when we do this. The more I speak it and the more I say it, the more it makes sense on how, for us, it's like a blueprint roadmap when we're testing beings to kind of know spiritually either where to place them at or how we're going to engage or deal with them. A lot of people are afraid of being vulnerable, but the chosen ones, us, we've never been afraid of being vulnerable. That's why we put ourselves in these positions. We put ourselves in positions that other people don't have the strength to stand in. You know what I'm saying? Other positions that people don't have the courage to rise in. You know what I'm saying? We always put ourselves out there in the forefront of whatever position or thing it is that we're in. That's how we operate. So for us operating that on a love frequency, the highest frequency possible, when you make yourself vulnerable, you're operating on that love frequency. You're vibrating up here. If you're dealing with a stranger, you know what I'm saying, and you're making yourself vulnerable, you're operating on a love frequency way up here. You know what I'm saying? They don't comprehend it. That's why they always feel like, oh, I could take advantage of them, or oh, I could manipulate the situation more. They don't vibe the way we vibe. You know what I'm saying? And when we use that vulnerability, it's kind of like a shield sword. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of armor and protection, but it also is a sword, so it's a weapon as well too. You know what I'm saying? These beings think they get by with tactics on us because we choose to put ourselves in vulnerable positions. The vulnerable position we're putting ourselves in physically is a temporary space. But spiritually, our foresight is way beyond, which is why we're testing this situation the way we're testing it. We're always running tests because we always need to see where motherfuckers stand. Simple process. I don't want to have you too closer in my space for a long period of time if you're not on my team. So why not just make myself vulnerable now? Boom. See what's up with the situation, and then I can act accordingly. You know what I'm saying? All of these tactics and things that we use is all part of like our spiritual processor and our radar and our senses system. You know what I'm saying? It's like a whole operating system in our spirit realm within us and that operates around us. We talk about a lot of the other things, but we have to start diving deeper into why do we tend to make ourselves more vulnerable and give people multiple chances after chance after chance after chance. And it's not everybody that we do that with. It's only the beings that's been in our space already before we start ascending, or the people that snuck into our space while we was like not all the way where we want to be at, but we were still in that ascension space. You know what I'm saying? But our vulnerabilities, that shit is priceless. That shit is priceless. I wouldn't be putting myself out here in this position to be judged if I wasn't cool with making myself vulnerable. You can hide behind this technology, but you cannot really hide behind the technology, if you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That's just how the universe works. But I ain't want to run it up too long. I just wanted to drop something quick up there. My bad if the lighting is off. I don't really have a choice in how the sun operates. I just felt like I needed to get out and film and do this one, so I didn't want to be in the studio again. So I was like, let me get out. But the sun, I only can work with the sun. So I'm trying to like do my thing, bounce back and forth and see what we can do, gang. But y'all tap into everything down below. Y'all know what time it is. Peace and love to the kings and queens.